Hello, I'm Abby Huntsman, and you're in the strategy room. It is finally caucus day in the Hawkeye State. Iowans will cast the first votes of 2016 in the presidential race tonight, and the voter turnout, well, it's crucial. For some White House hopefuls like Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, the real pressure is on first-time caucus goers, those who have voiced their support for the candidates, but who have never participated in the process, which in some cases can take hours. So how important are first-time caucus goers? Here to weigh in our Democratic strategist Basil Smikle Jr. and Republican strategist Cathy Lynn Taylor. Welcome to both of you. It is finally here. The votes are going to be cast tonight. Cathy, talk to us about how the Iowa caucus is different. This is not where people can just show up for 5 minutes, toss the name in a hat, and leave. They have to expect to be there sometimes for a long time, and these candidates are really relying on voter turnout.
That's right. This is a very participatory process in Iowa, which is exciting, particularly this year, given all the fervor that's going on. I mean, you can feel the excitement. And so Iowa's different that way, and it's first. So between being first and very, very, very participatory, you know, people are really looking for what voters do. And because of this whole discussion about insider versus outsider, or disruptor versus non-disruptor, and the focus both for Democrats and Republicans on the younger millennial voters, as well as an aging population vote, it is very, very important for voters to turn out, and that's what everybody's looking at. It doesn't matter the weather, it doesn't matter what's going on. People are looking to see who shows up.
Who shows up?
That's right.
I mean, it's so important. And who has the most to lose, Basil, if there is lower turnout than people are expecting? Because you look at the polls, and we can pull these up. The latest Fox poll, you see, you know, it's still pretty close between Clinton and Sanders, and on the Republican side, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. Who will benefit the most from a big turnout, and who will lose the most for a small turnout?
Well, the thing is that on the Republican side, Donald Trump's support is comprised substantially by these lapsed or first-time voters. So if you have a snowstorm like what they're predicting, I think, and you have, or for whatever reason that there is low turnout, you're looking at the most fervent, the most energized voters. I think some of that belongs to Donald Trump, but the reality is I think that will get dispersed among a number of other candidates. So I actually think it helps Ted Cruz more than anything else. On the Democratic side, I think you'll see it hurt primarily Martin O'Malley. And going back to the actual process, on the Democratic side, it's actually a little more complicated than the Republican side. And you also have a period where you can convince other voters with other presidential preferences to come on your side, that 30-minute or so electioneering portion. And I think that also benefits the stronger candidates over the weaker ones, like perhaps a Martin O'Malley. So I think it hurts him more than anything else.
It's a complicated process, Cathy. You look at these polls, and you want to say, okay, let's just trust what they tell us. But really, in politics, anything can happen tonight, right? We could see someone come up, like Rubio, for example, that is pretty far down in the most recent poll and surprise people.
That's right. I've said I was like shaking the magic 8-ball. I mean, anything goes. We just don't know what's going to happen despite the polls. And because that is so much because we don't know who's going to show up. But, you know, it's very interesting. You're hearing a lot of hesitation all of a sudden about Ted Cruz. He sent out this mailer that is now being allocated to break Iowa campaign law, so to speak. I don't know if that's exactly the best way to say it, but, you know, Rubio certainly had a softer touch, and so now you have a lot of people who said, well, I was leaning this way, but now I'm starting to hear a lot of chatter about Marco Rubio, so that's definitely something that could surprise people.
People making last-minute decisions.
And there are a lot of people who were undecided leading into this. So it really is anything goes. I mean, I think most people feel that Trump's lead has been consistent, substantial, and as long as the vast majority of those people show up, that he will take Iowa. But the run for second and third is really undecided at this point. I think it's really an unknown, and I think the events over the last couple of days with this mailer and just some of the statements that have been made by Ted Cruz, like, you know, threatening to walk off the stage in a debate, have people talking.
But it's
so it's going to be very interesting.
If you don't get first, it's important to get second or third. And Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I feel like, Basil, are really relying on the young vote. How important is it for young people to get out? They say they're going to get out and vote tonight, but you never know with young people. They're unpredictable.
Yes, it's incredibly important, and that's true both for Donald Trump, and it's certainly true for Bernie Sanders. But Hillary Clinton's counting on it too. What I think is also interesting is that Marco Rubio probably benefits the most from young voters in this election. I think, and I've always said, that he could be the Republican version of Bill Clinton in 1992. So what I would like to see on the Republican side, or I would be curious to see, is if Marco Rubio actually gets the lion's share of young voters, not just in Iowa, but certainly in New Hampshire.
And you know, one very interesting thing to look for is Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are two of the smoothest political operatives of this time. They are studied, they have a deep knowledge of political campaign history, and they've put a lot of thought into their campaigns. They have run entirely different campaign strategies.
Basically the opposite of what Donald Trump is doing.
So I think it's good, yes, although I think we may see that there was more behind that than meets the eye. We'll see.
Okay.
But they have run very, very, very different campaigns. And Rubio has tried to manage peaking too early, and now he's left in a very good position where if he comes in second, if he comes in third, it's fine. He's still done what he's set out to do. Ted Cruz has to win. If he comes in second, it's going to put him in a very, very tough position going into New Hampshire. So we will really see, I think this is going to be one that is dissected by the campaign strategists for decades after this.
So many people are so excited for tonight. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
That's
Basil
right.
and Cathy Lynn, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. For more on the 2016 presidential race, check out foxnews.com. I'm Abby Huntsman. Thanks for watching.